What's up, gamers? This is Wild. If you're enjoying the content on my channel, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can join in discussions and contribute to the channel. So today what I want to do is take a look at Madden 17 and Madden in general and review it. And I'm going to do that by using the age-old technique of the good, the bad, and the ugly. So with the good, I'm going to take a look at the highlights of Madden 17. With the bad, I'm going to take a look at the lowlights of Madden 17. But with the ugly, I'm going to not just focus on Madden 17 in general. I'm going to focus on the ugly of Madden in general and the community and how it's been progressing or regressing over the years. So the number one good thing about this year for Madden, and this pertains particularly to MUT, and it's the chemistries. I love the fact that you can see the actual chemistry boost on each player card, and you can actually see how it affects their overall and the boost on their overall card. Because last year the styles, even though they said you got a boost, sometimes the boosts were invisible and you didn't notice them on the field. But this year with the chemistries, you could definitely use the chemistries to change and affect the way you play your styles on offense and defense. If you wanted to play a run-heavy team, you could get the players with zone blocker, bruising back, and mobile blocker chemistries, and you can actually see that they perform a little bit better with those chemistry maxed out when it comes to running plays. I found that this was a great, and I hope they bring it back next year, which I think is pretty much already confirmed. The second thing I noticed that was good about Madden was how they treated zones. Flats specifically. This year they gave us the hard flat, the squat flat, and the clown flat, and a bunch of other different zones. They gave us match zones. They gave us the cover 3 Mabel play. They gave us different variations of cover 4, and I think they were all dope. And I mean, not only did they give us different zones to play with, I feel like this year players reacted better in zones. Sometimes the purple zones weren't the best, but you could switch it to a cloud flat to get better zone reactions. But in general, I think all the players reacted better in zones. Even some of the 3-4 outside linebackers who really aren't that good in zone coverage. And this year they upgraded, they actually paid attention to the strong safety position, and that last year the strong safety position was kind of a throwaway position. They had low zone, they had low man, they were really only good for tackling and stuff in the run. This year you got strong safeties with good man coverage, good zone coverage, and they can really make plays in your defense other than stopping the run. Another thing that was the number 3 thing that I think that was good about Madden 17 was the fact that they boosted the SWAT mechanic and they toned down the aggressive catch. I felt like this was necessary because last year all you had to do was chuck it up, and it's not even a chuck it up and pray. You just chuck it up and held the aggressive catch, and 8 times out of 10 you came down with it if you had the right wide receiver. You had Calvin Johnson, Dez Bryant, AJ Green. You're going to come down with the catch, and it's frustrating because not only is that not real football, it is not a fun type of style to play against. Now with the SWAT catch and tip drill, with the SWAT button and the tip drill, it becomes more perilous and more of a strategic move to throw those deep passes. The number 4 thing that I thought was good about Madden 17 was the nano detection. Away went the instant nano A gap and B gap blitz, and you're not gonna have your play stop before it even starts. Now your player Eventually, the players figured out a way to get fast blitzes in through the edge blitzes, and I'll talk about that later. But I'm glad that they got rid of the nano blitz because it was pretty much unplayable against. If someone had a good nano blitz that you couldn't stop, you could only really run the ball, and sometimes they had defenses that could stop the run, and if you tried to pass, you would get sacked right away. And the fifth and last really good thing about Madden 17 this year, to me, was the competitive Madden scene. Even though I wasn't a competitive player this year, I liked the idea that if I trained hard enough and I ranked high enough in the Madden boards on the specific mode, I was able to potentially make thousands of dollars playing Madden. You can essentially make a living. Now going on to the mixed things that were kind of good and bad were the promos. I feel like promos is one of the biggest things about MUT in general, and I feel like there's 5 pillars when it comes to making the promos. It depends on your solos, your sets, your packs, how it affects the market, and your master reward. And I feel like Madden kind of dropped the ball on some of these promos. Sometimes the sets and rewards you got, like the Christmas gifts, were pretty poo. Like this year, the Christmas gifts were pretty bad. That's one of the biggest promos of the year. And this year in review, the master set here, the Brett Favre, is not worth all the 4 players you put in. But I feel like in future, if they are able to target those 5 categories of promos, you're going to be able to have a successful promo. And the reason why promos are in the mixed category between good and bad is because some people like the promos this year, and some people didn't like the promos this year. In my opinion, I didn't like the promos this year. I feel like they always left out one of those 5 pillars of a promo, and it left somebody wanting more. Either the packs were pretty bad and the solos were decent, or the solos were pretty bad and the packs were decent. They never really found that good balance with each and every promo. Some promos got that balance, but I feel like overall most of these promos were balanced for whatever the theme was. Another mixed thing about it was the patches. Some people enjoyed the patches. They feel like some of the patches make the game better, like how they patched the run pass glitch or how they patched the stretch run at the beginning of the year. And I'm on the mixed field of that as well. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but the patches are definitely in the mixed category. Now moving on to the bad things of Madden 17, the nickel blitz slash edge he definitely has to go up there. Now at this point after the ninth or eighth patch, nickel blitz is pretty easily be blockable. If you know it's coming, you can run a play action to the opposite side, you can block a tight end, you can slide protect, you can check and release. But earlier on in the year it was a lot harder to block the nickel blitz as sliding, check and release, blocking extra people didn't come through. Now, Edge Heat may be fixed next year, not fixed, but easier blockable next year with the ID to Mike feature. But I feel like if you're able to give us the tool of ID to Mike to stop the blitz next year, it just people are just gonna send double Edge Heat, and it's gonna be the same issue all over again. Now, in theory, the nickel blitz and a lot of these edge heat blitzes will work it really in theory because they're overload blitzes. You're sending more blitzes than there are blockers. But the issue came with the fact that if I knew an overload blitz was coming and there were no tools in this year's Madden 17, to be able to stop it even if I knew it was coming until very late in the year. Now, the next bad thing about Madden 17, in my opinion, was man coverage. I mean, it was pretty much awful until very, very late. I think now people are able to run man coverage a little bit better now, but up until this point, any route with any kind of sharp cut, like a slant, a post, a corner route, a C route, a comeback route, an out and up, there's so many routes that if you catch your opponent in man coverage, you're going to easily get a first down. And if you catch someone in cover 1 or cover 0, you can just run an out and up route, a smart router, and you can get it a TD. Now we're going to move on to the ugly parts of Madden in general. I think the first ugly thing about it is that they lose focus on all of their player bases. I don't know if they notice it, but they have a lot of different player bases. They have the Ultimate Team player base, the franchise player base, the basic head-to-head player base, and even inside of MUT, you got a bunch of different player bases. You got the people who play head-to-head, people who play solos, people who buy packs, people who work the auction house, and I feel like they forget about one or the other, and they try to please one and forget about the other. This year, overall, I feel like they tried to please the competitive players by tapering off the overalls of all the players. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the plus one Bay was a serious problem, and that each card in MUT was released very incrementally improved over the last card. And I believe that was because they didn't want the competitive players to have the 99 cards and overpowered cards too quickly and show up at the Madden tournaments with these super overpowered cards and be able to break the game. Now the 13th, not the 13th, the next part of the ugly that I found, and this is about the Madden community in general, was the community of the no money spent guys complaining about the guys who buy packs or trying to shame the guys who buy packs. And at the end of the day, we're all trying to get an ultimate team. And if you think about it, we all need each other, man. The no money spent guys, even though you spend all your time grinding these solos and you're picking up all these coins from these solos and all these packs, you need the guys who buy packs because those are the ones who buy the packs and pick up the guys who are come from the promos or whatever weekly promo it is and put them on the auction house. And the guys who buy packs need the guys who are no money spent and spend all the time grinding for coins, grinding the auction house because they're the one who buy your cards. You guys don't know we both help each other and there's no reason to trash each other, and I feel like that's a big problem in the community because if you buy packs, people trash it. If you spend all your time grinding solos, you get trashed as well. Maybe that's a quality of life problem as an ugly part of the community, but that's just something I noticed especially this year. Another thing that was ugly about Madden 17 and just Madden in general was pack odds. I know guys have been talking about pack odds in general, and I'm not just going to talk about how the pack odds are pretty bad because they are, but what I'm going to focus on is coin buying. Now, the reason why people buy coins is that so that they can get a guaranteed coins and so they can get a player they want guaranteed. If you look at here on the screen right here, I just bought 2 packs with coins, 7 Pro Pack bundles with coins. Now the real monetary value of those things are $20. It's $20 I would have spent if I had spent and bought Madden points. But if you spend that same $20 on buying coins, you will go ahead and end up with 400,000 coins at this point in the game. I think they're running for $4 per 100,000. So, I mean, just logically, you think why would someone want to buy packs and not get the card they want rather than just buying the coins from someone off a coin selling site or a subreddit or a thread or something like that and getting the guaranteed coins to make sure that they're not losing value and they're guaranteed to get the player they want. I feel like it's an issue that I understand why it's an issue with EA because they lose money that we're not giving the money to them, but they have to understand where we're coming from. There's no reason that if we don't want to gamble our money away, our hard-earned money away on buying packs, and we know we're going to end up with jack squat, we shouldn't be penalized for guaranteeing our success. If there was a way that EA could sell us coins, I'm pretty sure people would buy them too. A lot of those games that have in-game purchases have straight up ways where you can buy their gold or buy their coins or buy their souls or whatever it is. You can just go ahead and straight up purchase it, and then you can buy the players or characters or whatever it is you want. I feel like something that EA probably needs to change, even though they won't. I feel like it needs to change because why should I be penalized, or why should anyone be penalized for trying to be smart with their money instead of just gambling it away? That's it. That's all I have for the good and the bad and the ugly. There's probably a bunch more that I missed. There's probably some that you guys disagree with me on. Some good points that you guys think are bad. Let me know in the comments. I'm probably going to follow this video up with a solution to how to fix the bad and the ugly things. And I feel like Madden or the Madden developers have gotten a good head start and address some of these issues. But I'm going to make a follow-up video based on the response on this one to see how if I was the head of EA, how I would, or head of Madden, how I will fix a bunch of these issues. Alright, see y'all next time. Peace.